agree with your assessment more. I mean, James Kennedy, it's so foolish. They've realized that they've all gotten this huge second chance, and congrats to them. Like, unbelievable luck. I mean, I think that's why we've all speculated at times this had to be staged, because I stand by this show would have been canceled if they did not have this storyline this season. And so, yeah, I mean, I will say, like I said, I did think part 2 and part 3 coming up, Raquel will confront them. It is
Which by the time everyone hears this, part 3 already would have aired, but go on.
Her lack of reaction when you do think about how close-knit this group of friends is, and they've worked together. I mean, it's very odd. I don't even know what to make of it. I mean, do you still think she's on the spectrum? I mean, something isn't firing.
Well, 2 things. I either think she's on the spectrum, I will stand by that, or listen, like, because I made a comment and someone's like, oh, and Sarah says we want to hear more about you and you never talk about yourself, like, which I'm not about to do right now. But when I say that I also have no feelings, because this person was like, oh, I find that so interesting, I want you to delve into that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If people, listen, I think if people have, so I do think either she's on the spectrum, or if people have extreme hurt, look, we all have it. We're all living. So we all have hurt and things that happen. But if you have it so extreme, there is a mechanism of coping. It's a coping mechanism that you just become devoid of all feelings. Now, I am devoid of all feelings because I don't have time. Truly, I literally don't have time. So whatever the feeling is at 9:01, by 9:01 in 1 second, I'm over it, because I mean, I just don't have time. I have a podcast to run here 7 days a week. But there are people that are devoid of feelings, that the thing is so traumatic in your life that that is your coping mechanism. You don't let yourself feel at all. Yeah. I think she's one, like this whole thing where her mother gave her up, and, that is so deep for any little girl, that this, that's not shocking that you would just turn your feelings completely off to be able to get through life. Some people do heavy drugs. Some people, do this. Some people are sex addicts, whatever it is. I just think that has to do with it. But I still am not backing away from the fact that I think she's on the spectrum. But I think it's also a coping mechanism of this just horrible thing that happened. But when she's just, I mean, that scene in the trailer where she's just like, oh, wow. Like, I guess, yeah, I should have analyzed this more with Sheena. And wow, I maybe I would have sent her a different letter and said, like, I'm like, let's work. Not even I'm sorry. Like, let's just like, hey, we got some things to talk about. Like, she's smiling. I don't think she's not an evil mastermind. She's just clueless. I don't know. Sheltered. Your growth is stunted because of this thing. All of the above, Sarah.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, for sure that would do it, right? That's a very traumatic event in somebody's life. I did feel much more for Ariana. This is what I'm saying. I am a flip-flopper because I go back and forth. 1 minute I feel for Ariana. It's like the ultimate betrayal. And then on the other hand, I'm like, again, there's never been a woman scorned that has had such success. And on, your YouTube channel, after I did my rant, a lot of people, because my thing was, there are real people listening to this podcast that have been cheated on and the worst things have happened. And someone wrote, their sister went through it. Like she found
took her own life.
Yeah. It was just horrible. And I'm like, that is like a cheating tragedy. It's hard for me to get, yes, I have empathy for Ariana, but it's hard for me to really have that much empathy when you're getting a $200,000 Raising Cane chicken endorsement. Like that's when you're scorned and like, oh, honey, it was worth going through that fire, I mean, and that's just one endorsement. So I know money doesn't make up for things, but it certainly helps. And Bethenny Frankel put out here we go, right? There's another person I flip-flop on. Bethenny did a great video where she broke it down of everything she thinks about the Scandoval. And she basically said, she kind of like what we're saying. She said, You are voluntarily putting yourself on a reality show where you know you don't have control over the edit. You are setting yourself up for torture. You have made the decision whether you're going to take Xanax or you're going to excessively drink to get through it. Whatever you're going to do to get through it, you have voluntarily signed yourself up. And, you know what comes along with that, the highs and the lows. And basically, she was just saying she doesn't feel bad for anybody on the show. And they've also been given this ratings gold, which is very hard to do. And so anyhow, I do flip flop. I did feel it was so strange, the lack of emotion though from Raquel. So I'm with you. I think the person I want to hear from the most now is Raquel. Like I'm curious what reflection or therapy has been done. And what did you make of Brandi coming back and basically calling Bia? And like, I'm with you, right? Sheena showed real emotion. I thought, oh, that's, I can relate, right? That's sad. It's a friend group that's been a friend group for a decade. Here's this ultimate betrayal. Sheena was like crying, how upset she was. Okay. And then Brandi comes out and goes, oh, bullshit. These people know exactly what they're doing. They've all been manipulators. They know exactly what they were getting into in Hollywood. Don't believe any of them. What do you think of our girl, Brandi?
I mean, listen, Brandi's like, give me a break. It's hypocritical. And, you slept with Eddie when I was married to him. Like, let's not forget that, Sheena. Like, what is really the difference? Yeah, best friends. I mean, look, I agree. Like, they keep saying, like, you weren't best friends. Does that really, I mean, let's strip it away. Is that really any difference? Like, you're going to have like a 7-month affair with my husband and you don't know me. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that would
still,
be like,
I
think that's like a whole nother level of betrayal. Yeah.
but I
Can
mean,
you
it's still the
imagine?
end result is just as, so I don't know. And listen, and Brandi's also saying I'm over everybody. So Brandi's also going through her own business now of like, where's my next reality TV job? And like, look at the narrative out there. So, I mean, I also read that into Brandi's statement of like, I mean, I'm over all of it. I'm over Manzo. I'm over Bravo. I'm over Andy. I mean, look what they're doing to me. Where's Girls Trip 4? Like, Brandi, and she's like, and by the way, like, let's just take a minute. I mean, here we go. Like, Girls Trip, like, we had Girls Trip 1, and then we were filming 2 kind of right away, and then we filmed 3 right away, and we filmed 4. This shit was rolling. Ain't no one talking about Girls Trip 5. So I don't know if we're putting protocols in. I mean, I guess maybe is Roni Girls Trip, the new Girls Trip? Maybe that's it. Okay, so fine. I just talked myself out of that. Maybe that's it, and we're not getting a 5
Right.
until Roni is filmed. Sure. Okay. There you go. Strike that, Your Honor. I was just gonna say, are they putting new protocols into place and have this Brandi Carolyn thing that which we don't even I think that's gonna be a mess when it comes out because like
Okay.
Brandi's lawyers, I don't know. It's gonna be a mess. Yeah, and like, and do we need respect on Lisa's name? I mean, Peter, when he was here, he really thought so. Do we have the none of you would have a job without Lisa? Or 10 seasons in, are we like, these aren't 23-year-olds? Just like everyone says Gia Giudice, which we'll get into New Jersey in a minute, like don't come for the children,